Hey guys, so today I thought I'd make a little video sharing my thoughts on why I love Chapman Guitars so much. You always see me with this guitar, which is my Chapman ML1 Modern lunar finish guitar, which I absolutely love. So I'm very excited today to give you my thoughts on why I love Chapman Guitars, why I love to play them, why you always see me with this one, and tell you a little bit about the story behind this guitar. So let's dive right into it, and it's going to be fun. I discovered Chapman Guitars through Rob Chapman online, which is, I believe, how a lot of people have discovered Chapman Guitars. They're a UK guitar brand, so a lot of people here in the US where I live do not know about them. They're fairly new in that way, especially where I live. Then I went to Guitar Center where I live and I played Chapman guitar. I don't think it was this exact one, but it was probably one that was similar. It might have even been in the same modern series. And I instantly realized, man, this is comfortable. This feels great. And before, that was back when I didn't know anything about buying a guitar. I hadn't actually bought a guitar yet by myself. And I was looking into getting a better quality guitar than my Squier guitar right over here, which is a fine guitar, but it's not built nearly as good as this Chapman guitar. So I went to Guitar Center and I picked up one of the Chapman guitars there, and I was like, oh my gosh, this feels so great. One of the reasons for that is because Chapman, on a lot of their guitars, including this one, which is what I love about this one, for one, is that they have rolled fretboards. So when you put your hand on the fretboard, and play, there's no sharp edge to the fret right here. And on my Squier guitar over here, there is a little bit of a harsh edge. And on some guitars that are built even less, with less quality, there is even a sharper edge. So it just felt good. Different people have different guitars that they think feel good to them. And Chapman guitars, every one I picked up, no matter how badly it was set up or whatever, if it just came out of the box and, the Guitar Center tech didn't even bother to tune it up, it still played great, and I loved them. So that led to me to really think, man, this is my brand. Chapman Guitars, I gotta stick with this. So eventually, I bought this guitar, and that was a couple of years ago, and I have used it on a demo album that I recorded myself. I have used it on all these YouTube videos. I have used it actually in an album that I'm working on right now that I am going to release. It has served me through thick and thin. I've used it in the studio. I've actually used it to play worship team at my local church as kind of a volunteering ministry there. And every time it served me well. It has great intonation. It honestly came out of the box or off the rack or however I bought it, set up extremely well. And that's something I noticed on all of the guitars, the Chapman guitars, is that they were set up, even if they were different, they were set up generally a lot better than the other guitars that were there at Guitar Center for the same price point. That's another thing that I really like about this guitar in particular, is that I think it was $500, maybe more, but I got it on sale, and there seems to be a big gap between $300 guitars. There's a lot of those Ibanez's, what's that called? The Ibanez series. I forget exactly the name of the series, but there's a, beginner Ibanez series, and then there's super expensive guitars that are $1,000 up. And there seems to be a big gap between those in quality, such as not having a real Floyd Rose until you get up to, $1,000+, which is fine. That definitely shows the quality. Those might have mahogany bodies. That is fine, but this guitar is extremely excellent for its price point. Not to say that it's a cheap guitar at all. I like this guitar, and even though there is a step-up guitar in the same series, I don't know if it's exactly the same, but the Modern series, I believe that's what it's called. The time I bought this, there was a step-up, but actually, I did not like the pickups on the more expensive series as good as these pickups that are on the cheaper guitar, less expensive one, for whatever reason. Which obviously worked out great, why not go for the cheaper one? Let me tell you a few things that I love about it. You can hear I'm stumbling over my words because I'm so excited. I just love Chapman Guitars so much. And I'm not saying this because I'm endorsed or sponsored by Chapman Guitars at all. I just love their guitars, and they serve me well every time I pick one up. I don't even have to worry about them not playing good or not feeling good on my hands. They're perfect for my hands. So, things about this guitar. The Chapman ML1 Modern, it actually says it right here on the back of the headstock. There are obviously 6 tuning... Okay, I'm not going to go over that. Duh. This is the easy stuff. It's a reverse headstock, which I thought was really cool. And this did not come with it. That is my little fabric. It's actually a piece of like felt from Michaels that I stuffed in here. And that actually helps... I find it helps to stop the strings resonating, because sometimes, especially when you're doing drop tunings, I find that the strings resonate up there and get this high-pitched, strange sound that you can pick up in recording. So I keep this little felt thing there to just stop that. So and then there's just a regular nut, and then it's 24 frets, which is one of the reasons I bought it. I was not going to buy a guitar that had less, because I got that Squire and I realized I needed to play way higher than that, and I wanted to shred up high, kind of in the style of Twilight Force's Lind. He was one of my favorite guitarists, still is to this day, and I use this 24th fret, not a ton, but I definitely use it. Now, Yngwie Malmsteen, who famously used Stratocasters, he still managed to play some of those notes sometimes, and some people have done the same kind of thing by bending up. But you can only go so far with that. So I like to play very high a lot of the times in my guitar parts, and in my music there's a lot of like lead guitars throughout. So the 24th fret really helps me. I really need it. So feels great up there. It is a bolt-on neck, which some people will kind of talk that, but I don't really mind it at all. It's fine. And what you can see, this little brown part is actually a little lining. It's not really like an inlay, but it is like a different color. So I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it definitely adds another dimension of coolness to this guitar. There's the pickups, 2 of them. They're humbuckers, dual coils. And then there's the just normal bridge, which is originally I thought I was going to get a Floyd Rose bridge, but then I realized what a pain in the rear those were, and how expensive. Again, you had to pay like over $1,000 to get a decent Floyd Rose, like seriously. And I will tell you, if you're thinking about getting one of those Floyd Rose specials, like don't do it in a million years. There's no way in hell that you'll ever get Dive Bomb's Return to Tuning with that thing. So, trust me, I've tried. There is these 2 knobs, volume knob, tone knob, and this tone knob also has a coil tap. So you lift it up, and it switches it to the pickups to single coil pickups, which is really handy. And I've actually used this when playing at my church, because the sound guy didn't like the humbucker sound, but I like to play on this guitar. So I just click that up and dial in whatever else I need to get going, and then I'm good. Also, the volume knob, which I'm going to demonstrate in a minute when I play a little something on here. The volume knob is a very sensitive volume knob, which is a good thing. It's sensitive in a good way. You'll see, I think Rob Chapman did this on one of his videos, even with the Chapman guitar. I want to be able to dial back that volume knob for an effect, for the mild distortion, instead of many guitars, when you dial back the volume knob, it just gets quieter. The volume knob is very sensitive, or maybe it doesn't get quieter, but you can only go a certain way, and then it'll just stop. A lot of guitars, the volume knobs are kind of like the tone knobs in the fact that if you turn them kind of into the middle, it's only if you turn it all the way to each side. But this volume knob in the Chapman guitar is extremely sensitive, which is awesome. You can do full-on volume swells with it, which I've done in my albums. It actually makes it really nice as a producer, because you don't even have to do crossfades. Yeah, you can just roll it right off. So, it's awesome. Oh, and I cannot forget the awesome Infinity Ring, which is the Chapman signature 12th fret inlay. I think this is on all their guitars that I know of. There might be exceptions, but it's on most of them, so that is awesome. So anyway, what I love most about Chapman guitars is the rolled neck about this guitar, and just the build quality, the way the pickups sound, and the practicality of the guitars. They're very well built, and they're very nice sounding. I like the pickups in a lot of the different ones. And they're made for metal, that's the thing. I am a symphonic power metal artist and guitarist. I'm a singer in that style, you know, it requires a lot of distortion most of the time, and a lot of other guitars aren't built for that so much, like my Squier Stratocaster. You know, it's built for more classic rock, Hendrix, you know, Clapton, that style stuff, which is fine, and it, you know, serves its job well if I'm using clean tones. But for something that I need heavy distortion on, this Chapman guitar and most Chapman guitars are meant for that, and that's why I really love them as well. The only thing I will say that I don't like about this guitar is that it's heavy. And not in the fact that it's heavy in music, because that is awesome. No, it's physically heavy. It weighs a lot. So I have had my shoulder get really fatigued, my left shoulder where the strap is, when I've been playing live shows, and that can be very tiring on your shoulder, and it can even cause, you know, more bad things to happen. But just be careful of that. I think Chapman did address that issue. I did see a Chapman video how originally there was a lot of complaints about the guitars being very heavy and how they addressed that, but they still want it to be very quality. So it is a very high quality guitar. I recommend this to anyone who's wanting a step up from, you know, a beginner guitar. This is an awesome guitar. And any of you symphonic power metal fans out there, hold that flame and this guitar would serve you extremely well. The only problems I've had with this guitar, like physical, like technical problems, have been the tone knob has been a little bit loose at times, and the input jack is actually wiggled around a lot. Now that happens on most guitars once you reach a certain amount of times that you just stick and, you know, insert and take out the jack, you know, the cable. But this guitar had done it a lot of times, and I took it to the music store multiple times, and they had it like tightened and stuff. It continued to happen. So I finally got it to a place where it stopped doing that, but I'll just forewarn you, just be careful when you're buying a guitar. You know, it's nothing about Chapman guitars. I've tested other guitars. I actually bought a couple of other guitars that I didn't end up keeping because they were so poorly built. So just test the guitar for a long time. Don't get so caught up in the awesome guitar, you know, new product, that you forget to think about what's going to be pragmatic. So that's my advice to you on buying a guitar. So now, guys, I'm going to give you a little bit of a demonstration and show you some of the sounds this guitar can make, as well as show you the volume knob, how it can fade out and stuff. So here we go. This is the bridge humbucker. And you heard just now how I rolled off the volume knob. Let me try that again. You hear how smooth that was? It's awesome. Now the coil tap. This is what it sounds like. So you can hear that sounds completely like single coil pickups, because it basically is. Now for the neck humbucker. So affordability, build quality, playing comfort, all of these are reasons why I love Chapman guitars, and I love my ML1 Modern guitar. So guys, if you like this video, please do subscribe to my channel, leave your comments below. Why did I just do that twice? I don't know. If you love electric guitar, you've come to the right place, because I post videos all about it. So check out Chapman Guitars if you haven't already. Maybe buy one, because they're awesome. I will recommend them to anyone, and you guys have a great week. Rock on, and God bless.